Welcome back to the Grim Workshop. Today we're going to be trying something new. So we're going to be taking this Grim Workshop Slingshot Slingbow card and we're going to be putting a set of these fast shooting flat bands on. The Grim Workshop Slingshot Slingbow card is one of my favorite tools. I do carry it all the time and it fits right in an Altoid size 10. Now this thing comes from the factory with looped tubes. So with loop tubes there is two small diameter bands, and in this case they're captured in place by a piece of paracord which doubles as an arrow rest. But I've got two. So I've got a new one, I've got the original style, and on my older one I actually had the tubes break on me. So anytime you've got rubber like this, it's going to fail. This is actually one of my oldest Grim Workshop cards. All slingshot bands are going to fail. It's just a matter of time. These loop tubes are actually one of the more durable styles of slingshot bands you're going to get. And if you wanted to replicate that performance, Grim sells replacement bands. So I can put the exact same style band on here, and they are super easy to take on and off. They just go right through the hole. I've had my bands off multiple times. I've used them to make a sling spear. I've used it for Hawaiian sling. I've used these for traps. But because I've got two of these, we're going to go ahead and try to put a flat band on. Just so we're all on the same page here, this is going to be a loop tube, and this is one singular band per side, doubled over, and it goes around the frame. But there's also full tube slingshots. Now, I don't shoot these as much as I used to, but they're an excellent band, especially for hunting. They're super durable. And I've got a couple different thicknesses here. So there is a thinner diameter, and that's going to be just surgical tubing that you can pick up at a hardware store. My bigger tubes here have a heavier wall thickness, and that's going to give me a lot more power. It's great for heavy ammo, but they're not as easy to shoot. Now, this stuff is actually used in spearfishing. This is a modern flat band, and this is what we're going to be putting on today. This is a lot closer to being like an exercise band here, so these do come in varying thicknesses. And I tie my own, but you can get them commercially. I actually carry flats with me all the time. They are not nearly as durable as any other brands I've showed you, but they don't take up much space in your kit. I carry a set rolled up like this. This set's not even tied together. So I do make my own, and I can tie this up in a field, and this will still fit in a small Altoids tent. Commercial frames like this are really nice when you're shooting them, but you have a tendency to leave these at home sometimes. That's why I carry just extra bands with me. If I'm carrying slingshot and I do break a set of bands, I can just replace them in the field, and if I did not bring a slingshot, I can just cut a tree fork and call it good. So we're going to look at this, and we're going to kind of mimic this design onto our sling card. So this is going to be called over the top. So this part of the slingshot is going to be facing me. The bands are going to go over the top, and then you're going to see this on the target side. Now if you reverse this and pull it just across these rubber bands, it's just going to pull right out. Now because we're going to be pulling across the top of this frame, I don't like this sharpened edge like this against those bands. It's not going to last very long, so we're going to take some tape off of our spool tool, and we're going to pad this with a little bit of duct tape. Got that taped up, we're ready for our bands. So I've got two regular rubber bands, and I've just cut them open. Now when I make these bands, when I fold this over and tie it, I've got a little knot here. So I want that knot pointing down. So I'm going to lay my band right where it goes, and when I stretch this out, the knot is pointed down. So this is called the wrap and tuck. So I'm going to pinch this with my thumb. I'm going to wrap over the top of it. Now once I got that captured, I'm really going to pull on this pretty hard. Not hard enough to break it, but I've got a lot of tension on it. So every time I go around, I hold this with my finger. I'm going to keep my wraps nice and neat. I'm gonna grab a piece of string, and this is gonna help us tuck the rubber band tail in. So I've got a little loop here. I'm gonna pinch this with my thumb. I'm gonna go right over the top of this string. So I'm gonna go over it about 3 or 4 times. And I've got tension on this the entire time. So I'm going to put my rubber band tag through the loop. And I'm just going to pull this. That's going to pull the tag through. And now that is held in place. I'm going to line this up the exact same way, make sure I've got no twist. My knots are going to be on the outside. I've kind of got a natural trough right there. I'm going to line this up. Grab my second rubber band. And I'm going to do the exact same thing again. Okay, there we have it. So there's our flat bands. And again, we're going to be pulling this over the top the entire time. So if we pull this right against the bands, it's just going to pull right out. Now, anytime we shoot this, we've got to flatten our bands out. We're going to want this natural channel. And we're going to have knot these knots on the outside edge. Now, we've got a lot of kinetic energy here, and we're going to be putting this back at our face. So the first couple times you do this, first couple times you pull back a new band set, don't do it by your face. Even if you got safety glasses on, you'll get a good slap. So once we have done this a few times, I'm pretty confident this set is good. Let's give it a try. Now there is a compromise here because a small slingshot like this, even with flat bands, is going to be more difficult to shoot than a larger frame, either a commercial frame or one that you make yourself in the woods. But this has a whole lot more chances of being with you when you actually need it.